Hello everyone, I hope you all are having a great day. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the webinar on Zoho Cliq's platform, Catalyst and Webhook based extensions. I'm Purvik, the developer platform evangelist for the Zoho Cliq team, and I will be walking you through the session. We have with us Divyashree, a product marketing specialist from the Catalyst team, to introduce you to Zoho Catalyst. We also have with us Pradeep from the technical support team to answer your queries throughout the session and during the QA session at the end of the webinar. I just wanted to quickly remind you that this is a recorded session and we will be sending you the recording post the webinar via a follow-up email. And also to brief you about the Q&A session, we will have it at the end of the webinar. You can also post your questions throughout the course of the session using the questions tab on the left of your screen so our experts can answer them promptly. Also, if you experience any difficulties in hearing my audio or if the video isn't loading, please mention it in the chat tab so Pradeep can help you. A gentle reminder for all the attendees, if you want regular updates from Zoho Cliq, please follow our social media handles to stay updated on the latest features, webinars and lots more. You can take a look at the slide for our social media handle details. If you haven't seen the webinar about the introduction to Cliq platform, then you can watch it on our YouTube channel. Zoho Cliq's platform, Catalyst and Webhook based extensions. Let's take a look at Webhook based extensions first. First things first, what are webhooks? Webhooks are essentially a way for an app to hook or be hooked to another app. By doing so, it can provide or receive information from the other application in real time. Since the communication is direct, it's almost as if the two applications are speaking to each other. Webhooks in Cliq help you notify or get notified when something specifically new happens. This something can be anything, be it a comment on a forum post or a task being finished in a task management application. It can all be configured according to your use case. Oh, and you also don't have to worry about your privacy and security issues using webhooks, since they support different authentications such as OAuth and API keys. Now, why should you go with webhooks? There are a lot of advantages to using webhooks to create your extension. First things first, they are very efficient. Unlike other APIs which poll for data, which means they have to check constantly for triggering events, webhooks allow the application to push the data from the triggering events into the hooked application as soon as it appears. This is like getting an alert when something changes in an application rather than you having to check it yourself periodically. This reduces wait times and allows for real-time data transfers. These instant transfers increase your work efficiency and also saves a ton of time. Also, when you use webhooks, you can more easily automate certain processes that transfer data and allows users to determine specific actions for triggering events. This setting up is fairly easy and requires to be done only at the beginning. After that, the webhook will be up and running automatically, which will reduce the manual input. This reduction in manual input will reduce the risk of any error in the flow. Specificity is another benefit of using webhooks in your programming, as they let you connect specific parts of an application instead of having to connect multiple elements to create a working data transfer system. This also helps with data privacy issues because if the flow is compromised, only data within the parts of the application that are connected are threatened. It also helps keep your code clean and understandable. Now let's take a look at an example for a webhook based extension and how to create it. The extension for this example is going to be the time tracker. This extension will help track the time that you take for tasks so you can manage your schedule in a better way. First, go to cliq.zoho.com. Now you need to go to cliq.zoho.com/developer. Here you can see that there is a create extension button. Now click on that button to create your extension. Now enter your name and the description that you need for your extension. Since we're going to go with the time tracker extension, I'm going to name it as time tracker. And I'm going to enter the description in the text box for the description. Next up, the execution type is going to be a webhook based extension, so I'm going to choose webhook. I also have my callback URL copied, so I'm just going to paste it here. So I'm going to add all the components that I need. So first I'm adding the bot. The bot name is going to be time tracker, and I'm going to enter the description for the bot here. Next, I'm gonna add a welcome handler and the message handler. Both of these handlers have only the user attribute, so I'm gonna select both the user attribute for both of these, and then I'm gonna click on. I'm also gonna add a few bot menu actions. The first bot menu action is going to be add task. This is going to help add the task to the time tracker. This is gonna help. This is gonna have the user attribute. And then I'm gonna add another bot task. The next bot task is going to be current tasks. Yeah, current tasks. Okay, this is also gonna have the user attribute, so I'm gonna check the user attribute. The next task is going to be projects, and this is also going to have the user attribute. I'm gonna check the user attribute box, and I'm going to click on add to add the bot. And next I'm going to add another component. This time it's going to be a message action. This is also going to be an add task message action, because in spite of having only the bot menu action, we're also going to have another message action to add a task to the time tracker. So I'm going to give a hint here. This message type is only going to be for text, so I'm going to uncheck both the attachments and links. And for the execution handler, I'm going to choose message and user attributes. I'm going to click on add to add the message action. Next up, I'm going to add a function. This function is going to be the time tracker function, a form function. So I'm going to name the time tracker form function as time tracker form. I'm going to enter the description. The function type is going to be form, and it's going to have the user attribute. Next up, I'm going to add another function. This time it's going to be the widget button function. No, this is going to be the button function. So I'm going to enter the description for the function. I'm going to click on user, and then I'm going to deactivate both the installation validator and the installation handler, so we don't need that. I'm going to click on create extension, and that's it. You've created your extension for your time tracker. Now you can see that the time tracker bot is here, and it's as I've created it, I've subscribed to it. It says hey, thanks for subscribing and use bot actions. This is the welcome handler that we just created. So under the bot, we can see that there are 3 sub actions: projects, current task, and add tasks. The add task sub action, let's click on it. As you can see that we haven't authorized the application yet. So since this is the first time, we need to authorize the application to allow access to our profile. So we've authorized it. Now let's click on add task again. Now you can see that it asks for a title. Let's say fill the marketing sheets. Now we have we have a project, like a default project called general. So we're going to click on general. So there is an option called start now. If you click on this option, the timer will start as soon as you click on add. But if you unselect this, the new option comes called start time. This will set up the timer so that at the specific time it'll start the timer on the specific time that you mentioned. And there's also a stop timer if you want, that you can ask the timer to stop at the specific time. So let's just start the timer for now, like immediately after creating the task. I'm going to click on add task. So my task should be added by now. Let's click to view the task that we are currently working on. Let's click on current task. After authorizing, let's try clicking on add task now again. Now you can see that we need to enter a title for a task. Let's say fill in the marketing sheets. So we can see that there is a default project called general. So I'm just going to click on general for now, and you can see that there is an option called start now. Clicking this option is selected defaultly. This will start the timer as soon as the task has been added. But if you deselect this, you can see that there is a new option that comes up which says start time. This will essentially allow you to start the time whenever you want at a specific time in the future. So let's say I want to start the task tomorrow. I can click on 26th of May or some other day, 27th. So and there's also another option called stop time, which will mention when you need to stop the task. So for now, let's leave this empty and click on start now. So since we need the timer to start as soon as we add the task, because we're going to start working on it, I'm going to click on add. You can see that the task has been added and the clock has started ticking. It has been started at this time. So if we click on current task, it's essentially going to tell me that I'm actually working on a task called filling in the marketing sheets. It's in the project general. So let's click on projects now, the sub action. You can see that this is a list of projects. This is the project, the default project, general project. It has been created on this date. We can see all the tasks that have been here, that are in the general. So let's try creating a new project. Let's actually create a development project. A new project has been created. So let's click on projects now. You can see that there is a general project and there's also a development project. You can see that there's nothing, there are no tasks in the development project, so we cannot do it. So let's add a task in the development project. Oh wait, since we already have a task that is going on, let's go to the current task and pause it and add the development project task. So let's say finish the time tracker extension code. So this is going to be in the development project. We're going to start the time at a later date. Let's say day after tomorrow, 27th of May on 3 p.m. 3:30 p.m. Let's go 3:30 p.m. Set date and time. We're going to be working on it till 27th of May 4 p.m. Let's say we're going to be working on it till 4 p.m. for half an hour. Let's click on set date and time. 3:30 p.m. Okay, so we're going to click on add. Task has been added and it will start at this time, the specific time that we mentioned. Besides this sub action for adding task, there is also the message action that can basically turn the message into a task. For example, let's go to this thread. You can see that one of my colleague has reminded us to update the landing page content. So we're gonna add this as a task. So we're gonna click on message action. We're gonna search for add task. Click on that. Click on proceed to allow. Now you can see that this has been added as a title. So we're gonna put it in the general project tab. So we're gonna set this timer for tomorrow. So we're gonna click on 26th of May. Let's say 10 a.m. Set date and time. And we're gonna work on it till 11 a.m. Click on set date and time. We're gonna click on add. Now the task has been added and it's gonna start at tomorrow. So that's it. That is the extension of our time tracker, and this will help you track the time that you take to finish your tasks. Now I'm going to hand it over to Divya to introduce you to Zoho Catalyst.
Thank you, Purvik, for having me today at this session. Hello, everyone. This is Divyashree, the product marketer from the Catalyst team, who will be walking you through Catalyst and help you understand how you can leverage Catalyst as a developer. So, Catalyst is a completely serverless suite which can be used to build mobile and web applications using the microservices. We have a wide variety of components to choose from, which are all completely serverless, ranging from the data store, file store, cache, logging, scheduler, authentication, or even the REST APIs. So the first thought that comes into our mind when we hear the word serverless is that it must be either a function as a service or a backend as a service. But in addition to the function as a service as well as the backend as a service, we at Catalyst provide you a completely serverless platform, which actually includes the orchestration, compute, API gateway, logging, relational database, and cache. And when you compare the other competitors like the GCP or the AWS, they have a couple of server-based components. Well, for AWS, the cache is a server-based component, and even for GCP, you have a relational database and a cache, which is again a server-based component. So at Zoho Catalyst, what you can do is that in addition to the BAS as well as the FAS, we provide you an array of serverless components using which you can build a mobile application or a web application. So we help you to achieve your application development by providing you with a couple of components like the user authentication, the API gateways, or even a custom domain mapping, which you can use to leverage your custom, where you can link your custom links to your function. And you also get a monitoring tools like the logging and metrics as well as the application performance monitoring, all of these being serverless. So all of these are achieved using pre-built microservices, which could be customized according to your needs. And we also have artificial intelligence, which is integrated along with artificial intelligence, which is integrated to the Catalyst platform. The capabilities include the auto ML, the image moderation, face analytics, or even the sentiment analysis. So these are the couple of plug and play microservices that are available at your use. They range from barcode scanning, a push notification, or a Zoho event listener, the sentiment analysis, OCR, object detection, API gateways, application performance monitoring, DNS hosting, or even the user authentication or the web client hosting. And all of these are like pre-built microservices which are being tried and tested by around 70 million Zoho users. So what's in it for you when you subscribe to Catalyst? So the best part about Catalyst is that you get a completely free sandbox. So as long as your application remains in the developer environment, say for 5 days or even 5 months, you do not have to pay a single penny. So until you push your application to production, you can completely remain free. And once you push your application to production, the pay will be a pay-as-you-go pricing model. And even the pricing model is a much more uncomplicated and a transparent pricing compared to the other major competitors that we have in serverless platforms. So using the pre-built microservices or even the advanced artificial intelligence, which could be operated as APIs, you get to use the complete ownership of the tech stack which is being run by the Zoho's infrastructure. So that is how powerful Zoho Catalyst can be to build your web applications. And of course, the best part about Zoho products is that they talk with each other. So once you have Catalyst in your ecosystem, it can be used easily to communicate with your WorkDrive, Cliq, as well as the CRM. All you need to do is you need to build an extension or a web client application which performs your desired actions. Say for example, in CRM, if you need to add or edit a particular leads directly from the lead module in the CRM account, you can directly build a web application that does exactly this and use Catalyst to achieve this action. So handing over to Purvik for the couple of other Catalyst examples. So right now Purvik will be covering the components like the function, data store, or the and the file store.
First, go to console.catalyst.zoho.com and click on create new project. Since our extension is going to be about employee referrals, we're going to name our project as employee referrals. Make sure that there's no space in your project name. So I'm going to I'm going to cut off the space. Click on create. Now you can see that this is the home page for Catalyst. Now we need to create functions. So I'm going to click on before that we need to create data storage first. So let's click on data store. I'm going to click on create a new table. Our new table is going to be about users. So click on create table. Now you can see that there are a bunch of default columns that are already there in the table. We're going to create a new column. Let's say this column is going to contain the ZUID of the employees. So I'm going to name the column as ZUID, and I'm also going to choose the data type as big int, since it's only going to contain integers. There's not going to be any default value. I'm also going to check the boxes for mandatory and search index, and I'm going to click on create column. Let's create another new column. This time it's going to contain the name. The data type is going to be variable character. Max length, it's going to be 100, and I'm going to check the mandatory box. Now I'm going to click on create. This is create another column. And now let's create another column. And this time it's going to contain the ZAPI key. Make sure there's no space in between there. This data type is going to contain the encrypted key. And I'm going to click on check mandatory option. Make sure that there's no space in between the column name. And I'm going to click on create. And that's it. We've created our table for users. Now, just like the users table, I've created two more tables called openings and candidates. Here you can see that I've created the openings table with the required column names and the candidates table with required column names like name, email, phone number, experience, etc. The steps that I used for the users is the same steps that I followed for creating these tables. If you click on functions and create functions, you'll get this bar. Just copy the init functions and go to your command prompt, enter Catalyst space login. This will log you into your Catalyst account. Press Y and go for United States. It's just going to authorize Catalyst login. Now it's successfully logged in. Go back to the command prompt and you'll see that it's logged in. Now you have to make a directory for your employee referral. So we're going to make that employee_referral directory. We're going to go to that directory by enter cd space employee referral. We're going to paste our init function. Now this will open Catalyst. We're going to go for employee referral, and the type is going to be integration for Cliq. We only need the bot handler and the widget and function handler, so we're going to deselect the other ones. We're going to go for node 16, and we're just going to enter the package name and the entry name and the author. That's going to be us. So press enter, and it's going to create the Catalyst. Now you have to open Visual Studio Code, so just enter code space dot, and this will open Visual Studio. Make sure that you delete the default code for bot handler, function handler, widget handlers, and config.js, and replace it with the code that we have provided. And then here I'm just adding a few more packages by using npm install. Make sure that npm is installed in your PC before adding new packages. You can see that the package has been installed. Now go to the config.js file. We need the application key. Go back to the click.zoho.com/developer page and click on the extension and connectors. Here you can see that I'm copying the app key from there and pasting it here. Then we need the bot message endpoint. Go back to your profile picture, bots and tools, and click on the bot. Here you can see that the API endpoint, and copy it and paste it here. and then we're going to go back to the terminal, and we're going to go back to the parent folder by entering dot dot slash dot dot. Now we're going to go back to the terminal, and we're going to go back to the parent folder by entering dot dot slash dot dot, and we're going to launch the Catalyst by typing in Catalyst space deploy. This will deploy the Catalyst. You can see that the deploy is successful and the Catalyst has been successfully deployed. Now go to the bot and let's authorize the referral bot first. Now allow access. Now let's go to the widget and let's start hiring. So let's say there is a developer position open in my organization. I'm gonna enter the description for the position, and I'm just gonna add all the details that I require for the candidate Let's enter the job location. There's also another option to post a notification in certain channels. So since this is the developer position, I'm gonna post it in the Cliq platform developer channel. I'm gonna click on add. Now if you go to the chats, you can see that there is a new notification in the Cliq developer platform channel. Now if I open it, we can see that there is a new notification there of the new job opening. Now since we've got an opening here, let's go to another account and refer some of our a friend of ours as a referral. So we're gonna click on proceed to allow. Looks like we haven't authorized the extension on this account, so we're gonna look for the referral bot. So we're gonna search for the referral bot, click on it and subscribe to it, and authorize the bot. Click on allow access, and now that we've authorized, let's refer our candidate. Now I'm gonna enter the name of the candidate and all the details of them. I'm going to click on refer. Now the candidate details has been notified. Let's go to the other account, and looks like we have a new referral. We can see that. So there's a button called chat with referral. This will send us directly to a one-on-one chat with the person that's referred us a candidate. So let's just chat with them and thank them for the referral, and say that we will look into the referral and contact the person as soon as we can. Now if you go to the widget and click on the more options and click on view referrals, you can see that the candidate has been added in the widget in the table, and all the details have been added there. Now let's go to the other account, the account from which we referred. So if you can see that the candidate is in here in my referrals page tab, and also in the current openings we can see the post that is actually open. Let's go to the hiring account. There's an option called close opening, which we can select, and this will close the opening that's open after we hire the candidate. Now you can see in the previous interview tabs, you can see all the openings that were actually open in the past and closed. And that's it for the extension. Thank you for attending our webinar.